Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Happy Saturday to you. Wonderful weekend. I hope you're having a great one. We're going to take a look here, of course, at Solana. That's why you clicked on the video. This is not a gimmick here. What we're looking at really is how much lower this could go or how much higher it could go, because we broke this descending trend line with a nice little bullish backtest of this horizontal resistance there at about 142. So likely supports 142, but it does look like it wants to kind of break down. However, we are still establishing higher highs and higher lows. So it's kind of a funny place. Bitcoin is, however, in a unique space here where it's establishing lower highs and potentially retesting that 61,800 mark. So I'm bringing this up because in case you didn't know, big surprise, Bitcoin kind of calls the shots. So Bitcoin is due to pull back, I feel, at least a little bit more. And if so, then Solana could follow suit. So just be mindful and ready for that. Other than that, what I want to say here too is with liquidation, we want to take a look and see if there's any more macro or more so micro liquidation levels, because we want to look at the smaller time frames to identify kind of where we're at. Now, we got the 7 days on the left and 30 days on the right. Just to quickly note here, we saw a majority of the heavy liquidation at 145 got swept and the price turned around from there. So there is still some left here, but not a lot of recent shorts, or at least there are, of course, but they're not as close as the recent longs here. So we can see some late longs at 141, 142. I still think that's a little bit on the risky side right now, specifically based on how low volume we're seeing this weekend and just kind of, I wouldn't say it's a fake out from Bitcoin, but we've been getting a lot of false positives where the price action pumps to a specific level, a key level resistance, for example, hangs out there for a little while and then dumps later. Okay, so I'm gonna, if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, if I were to gamble, I would say we have a larger statistical probability that Bitcoin goes down, and in turn, I think Solana would follow suit. Because again, Solana is strong, but it's not proven to be like super strong against Bitcoin right now. So I do think retracement from Bitcoin would cause that. We do see roughly $500 million at $141 and about a third of a billion at 140. So we added that all up together. Between now and 140, we're looking at about $1 billion as a rough estimate. Yeah, so pretty sizable amount if you think about it. But again, it's not that crazy, honestly, at this point. What we want to look at, though, is for Solana, the daily time frame. I want to talk about this here really quick, because when we looked at this yesterday, there was a lot of confluence above the price action. So we can kind of see that right now, too, here. In other words, a lot of resistances at 145 to 152 rather, with our 200-day SMA, our 20s above a price. I mean, same thing with Bitcoin, too. We're above 50 on the RSI. Or sorry, the SMA 50 on the daily for Bitcoin, but we're well below the 20, basically letting us know the short-term uptrend hasn't continued yet or hasn't proven to break through that threshold. But we have a macro support at 60,000. Right now, we're barely above this 20-day, sorry, that's a 50-day SMA. That leads me to believe that Solana could pull back further. It's not a lot of support, okay? So again, we have more resistances above us in that regard. We're also back under 50. Sorry, we never actually got above 50. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is kind of like teetering right there at that 50 mark, which doesn't give me a lot of confidence. Same thing here with the RSI on Solana. So all that being said, we kind of combine that all together. We're still in a somewhat of a micro bearish move, even though we had a very strong recovery and we saw the price come up. I mean, we took a short from 147 to like the low 130s, and that trade's now closed, of course, but at this point, when we look at the price action, we can see that we still didn't break above that. So in other words, this more recent uptrend hasn't confirmed that it's back on track. While we are respecting this descending trend line, we haven't fully broken it on the macro. So those are all things to me that I see here. Our trend strength is under 0, where you can see our MACD still diverging, still gaining momentum. This doesn't really feel all that much of a breakout. So try not to get too overexcited. I know when I spoke yesterday about being above the 20-day SMA on the 4-hour, that was a positive sign. While we're still above that and the 200, we cannot be in a position where we're just blindly taking longs and saying like, hey, we're going to go to the moon with this thing, right? Not even close. So we take a look here at the stochastic RSI. We can kind of see it's trying to diverge for the second time. Money flow index is high. Please understand, folks, that is a false positive. So if you got like some kind of crazy blood diamond or some kind of green dot on your chart, on maybe the 32-minute chart or something crazy, if you're doing that and you're just sitting there looking for green dots or red dots all day, you're going to find what you're looking for. Look for reasons not to trade instead of to trade. Maybe change that up a little bit. I bring up the red dot and the green dot because a lot of folks in our community use Market Cipher and a handful of other indicators that kind of provide you with that. And money flow index is a very significant indicator within that, right? Kind of helps us understand momentum and more so just kind of like how much money is flowing in and out of a coin. Right now it looks like it's super high, but the truth is it's not that high because we have a weekend of low volume. Half of that is kind of misaligned. So it's giving us more indication that the price action's here to stay when it's really not. And again, that combination with this being a weekend, low volume, it basically is giving us a false positive. So if you're using that as an indicator, just know weekends will throw that off. And we had a lot of volume the day before yesterday, of course, but that's right on the tail end of that. That'll start to taper off here soon, giving you a sell signal in the next couple of days, but right now it's not something that's worthwhile. Okay. Anyways, just something in case you're not familiar with how the MFI works. RSI is under 50 as well in the 4-hour, also confirming we haven't broken bullish. So I'm leaning a little bit more towards shorting this coin at this point. Basically everything that we're seeing here, minus the MACD, which is still basically losing its momentum, leads me to believe that we're in a position where we should probably see the price continue lower. We'll see what the hourly tells us though, because this is the one that I typically use for confirmation. Now we are above the cloud, so it's generally a positive sign. Keep that in mind. And the lagging span is breaking free of the price action. Now it's below. So it does tell us this kind of like the very first indicator saying, hey, we see a shift in momentum here. The price action is moving in a different direction. When the lagging span intersects with the price action, you're generally wanting to close your long position in profit. It does not mean you just open a short instantly. So keep that in mind. The reason why we don't do that is because we have a lot of confirming factors below us, some support, and moderate amount of momentum letting us know we're probably still in good shape here. So I know you're probably scratching your head right now because I've told you a lot of bullish and bearish case scenarios. And in case you haven't been watching me for a while, I'm going to give you a pop quiz. What do you think you do when you have a lot of conflicting factors in trying to take a trade? Do you force a trade, or do you take a trade that is the best trade ever, which is not taking a trade at all? Bingo, it's that one right there. You don't want to take a trade in scenarios like this. The best thing you can do is avoid it altogether. Because again, there's not a ton of confirming factors here, I feel, that gives me enough confidence to take a trade in either direction. Okay, so that's just me personally. I'm a bit different of a trader than you probably are too, so it's all good. And you know, being a little more patient, that can bite me in the backside, because a lot of times I'll miss opportunities. But at this point, it doesn't seem like there's a tremendous amount of opportunity right now for Solana. Either way you look at it, we want to wait for confirming factors, which in most cases is a closure above or below key levels. Me personally, a closure below 142 would give us some signs that we're likely to move down further. If we maintain this range throughout the weekend and Bitcoin doesn't also maintains its range at 61.8 or higher, I think we're going to be in solid shape. Because again, if this doesn't happen, then I think Solana is going to be able to continue further up. But as you can kind of see, there's a significant pairing between these two coins. But Solana is actually moving up about 0.5% higher than Bitcoin, which isn't very strong, by the way. I think we're more likely to see further downside. So if I were to flip a coin right now, I think we're going to see Solana go down. That's just my consideration for the moment, but it's not really all that awesome of a situation to take a trade at this time. Again, that's just me. All right, what are your thoughts? Why don't you comment below? Do not forget to smash that like button, as they say, or just hit the like button, like the video, whatever, and we'll go from there. I really deeply appreciate you watching, nonetheless, and we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Oh, last thing too, I'm sorry. We have a affiliation with Bitunix. You probably already know this by now. Link down below. They have a deposit bonus right now, so if you're part of our community, make sure you take advantage of that, because you'd probably already used my link to register. If you want to use the link moving forward, you'll be eligible for that as well for future competitions, and more importantly, just future bonuses. So Bitunix, they take good care of us, folks. So they've been great to us. So thanks again. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.